Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the humble optical drive. Not usually the most exciting piece of kit on your retro PC, but I recently found a bit of tech that I've never really looked at before that sounded quite cool and decided it was time to give it a go, and that's what we'll be looking at in this video. And the piece of arcane tech in question is this. It's LightScribe from HP. A technology I believe came out in 2002, and it's basically a way of making your own disk labels without actually using labels, which is quite cool. So I had a couple of drives that have this logo on that you see in the middle of the screen there. Always kind of wondered what it was, and yeah, that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. So to do that, you need a few things. What do I need to use LightScribe? So we need a drive, we need some software, and we need some special discs, all of which are still kind of available. I got my discs off Amazon, brand new, still there. They're pricier than normal CD and DVD writes and rewrites, but not hideously expensive. I think it worked out roughly about £2 per disc. So given that they're kind of slightly special and they're going to have funky labels on them, I don't think that's too bad just to buy a few to experiment with. So I bought a couple of sets which we'll be taking a look at shortly, and yeah, I'm going to try and burn some labels. So I've got some pretty discs to keep my driver collections on. I think HP killed LightScribe in 2014, so it kind of had a 12-year lifespan, but yeah, you can still get them, and I guess the supplies will be dwindling soon, but I managed to get a little collection that'll keep me going with my single LightScribe drive, which I have. I also ordered another one just in case it ever breaks, and they're cheap as chips. They were like, it's £10 to buy one on eBay. So yeah, I've got a little collection of blank discs and a couple of drives now. So yeah, we can make some funky labels like these ones here at the bottom of the HP guide as to how to make these cool etched things, and we'll see how they look. And here, fresh from Amazon, are the discs that we're going to be using for the first round. These are just plain DVD-Rs, LightScribe enabled ones, and there are more interesting discs than this, some of which I also got, which we'll be looking at in a little bit, but these are the ones we're going to be using to start with, just to see if we can get this thing going. So this is the disc. What's special about it is you can see on the surface it's got this kind of coating. Going to how that works in a little bit. You also see there's a much bigger rim around the middle, so that's got some kind of barcode on it. And here is the drive that we're going to be using, this black Asus, which has got the little LightScribe logo there next to the other logos you can see. So it was seeing this that made me curious in the first place. I kind of noticed it and wondered what it was, what it did. Let's face it, you don't often study the logos on the front of your optical drives, but this one stuck in my head a little while ago, and now is the time to take a look and see what it does. So the first requirement to do this from the Hewlett-Packard leaflet was to get a LightScribe drive. I thought the video was over before it started because the only one I've got, the button stopped working and it wouldn't eject. So I had to get a tool and prise it open, which isn't something you like to do with older drives because you never know, like poking it wouldn't work. It was ejected, it was just getting caught for some reason. But I did get it open, and once it was open, it never happened again, so I don't really know what's going on there. Perhaps it didn't like this CD that was in there. Of course, the other things that it said we needed on that leaflet was some software. So this is the first bit. You need 2 bits of software, and this is the LightScribe system, which was a bit of software from HP that presumably was issued with the drives from all of the different manufacturers. And I guess this is used to tell the drive that it's got some extra special purposes to perform. The discs do have this kind of extra wide bit in the middle, which I think contains some kind of barcode or something. So it tells this software reads from the drive whether or not you've got the disk oriented correctly, and whether indeed it is an actual LightScribe disk and not just a standard CDR or something like that. And aside from the system software, you need a burner. There's a few that are compatible. I'm going to use Nero 7 just because I found out there was a compatible burner and supposedly fairly good. But as we saw in the HP document, there's a few different choices you can use to actually do your burning. But yeah, we're going to be installing Nero 7 and seeing how far we get with that. And that's it. Our software is installed. Nero 7 there. We just have to find out where in here supports those disks. The label creator, I would imagine, and we'll see what we can do about getting some designs. So I just generated some designs using AI, using ChatGPT, because I'm not really going to spend much time drawing elaborate things. I want something to look pretty quick, basically. It's quite surprising. I put some pictures of these AI generated designs on X, and yeah, there's quite a lot of people kick off when you put AI generated stuff up. They don't like it. But here we can see we've got LightScribe support built into this. So you click on LightScribe, it gives you the template of the disk. You can see how it's got that bigger reserved area in the middle as compared to a normal disk. And you can use this as a template to apply your designs. Something that I had an awful lot of trouble telling ChatGPT how to deal with. It didn't quite seem to get the concept of leaving more space in the middle, but we'll get onto that in just a sec. And this is the kind of design we're talking about. I got a few of them. The idea here is to create a few, say 4 driver disks, one for ATI drivers, one for NVIDIA drivers, one for sound card drivers, and one for a Windows 98 ISO. So I thought that'd be a nice place to start. So this is the kind of thing that it's been generating for me, and we're going to try and burn one of these onto one of these disks and see how it looks. So Nero, there's quite a funky feature when you go into the page for LightScribe where you can just create a label from a picture. Then you can just browse to the picture that we've just looked at, and theoretically it should just open on the template ready to burn within LightScribe. So let's see. And there it is. As an image, it didn't come out on the template the first time. It was a bit of a fiddle. So it's like opening the image itself, which is square. It doesn't seem to fit, so you can't really see the template, which wasn't great. So it was a bit of a trial and error to get ChatGPT to come up with something that was sort of suitable. And after a few more minutes and a bit more designing, we came up with something a bit more appropriate. We've got the template there, and bang. So that's, you can see the big bezel, and you can see the thing is round now, so it fits onto the template perfectly. Getting the actual design correct, it's going to take a bit of work. You can see here basically how it chops the design off, so you really have to pay attention to design around that large, I think it's 4.5 centimeters of reserved space in the middle, which is currently cutting my logo away. So it's not really very good, but we'll use this design just to try and get a print, see if we can get something coming out of it first. And it didn't go according to plan to begin with, because you click the print button and then it should double check a few things to make sure that the disk's correct and everything, and it started to work, and then it bang popped this error saying that it couldn't figure out what was going on in there, clean the disk and all this kind of stuff. But I committed a classic boo-boo for a LightScribe novice, and I'll show you that in just a second. And that boo-boo was this: the discs that you put in. So I just put it in face down. It doesn't work like that, because of course the laser's on the bottom pointing up. You need to put the disc in upside down so that the ink side is facing that way and the data side is facing upwards, because it's actually writing into that layer of whatever it is on the back and not onto the data side where it normally would. So try again. I also took this time, since that one had such a big hole in the middle, I decided to make a bit more effort and try and get something that fitted onto the disc a bit better. So I did a few more designs thinking about the 4 discs that I want to do this time. So got one for the sound card here. ChatGPT couldn't quite grasp the concept of moving that word sound card away from the center of the hole or shrinking it or whatever. So I just kind of gave up and thought I can live with it with a little bit of a clip like that. But yeah, so now that's probably going to be the final, or one of the final designs. It's just going to be a case of giving it another go now that the disc is upside down and seeing what happens. So when you click print this time, it goes through to the end of that process and then it starts doing something. And there we go, we've got a timer. So these things take about 20 minutes to burn each time. Actually looking at the drive, it gets some action now, so you can see it's actually doing some stuff. So presumably that would be burning away. And after that 20 minutes is up, you end up with something like this, which I quite like it. It's not very contrasty, but there is something you can do about that. So basically, you've got 3 settings. You can set it to be a draft print, a medium quality print, or a high quality print. This is a high quality one, but you can run it through the drive again. It knows how to line itself up correctly on it, and it will etch it a second time, which gives it a bit more contrast and makes it a little bit darker. So I'm going to do all of these prints, running it through twice, so it's like 40 minutes total to create a disc label. And the end result is this, which I think is pretty cool. So going to get the other 3 done. There's a reason why I've just done this one now. Then I had to wait for some different kinds of discs to come for my idea of how to proceed with the next 3 prints. And those discs are these. They're here. And yeah, look at that. So it's not a color etching, but you get a single color ink on each disc and you can get different color ones. So it's cool for doing things like making driver discs for the red team and the green team. So you can have your NVIDIA ones on a green disc, which is what we're going to do. Your ATI ones on a red disc. So yeah, they were these from Verbatim. Still readily available on Amazon to buy brand new while stocks last, I guess. So when I was looking into this, I found out there's actually a couple of different sort of variations of this using your optical drive laser to etch labels. So this one is called Disc Tattoo, Funk Disc Tattoo. It's very cool, very, very early 2000s. This one, I believe, was from Yamaha, and they had their own version of the drive, but it etched onto the data side, not the opposite side, which is kind of weird. And basically, if your disc was full of data, you had to leave some room for the label. So as far as I understand it, you couldn't fill your disc with data, because part of it would actually have something etched into it on the data side, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But it would have been fun to try it, except the drives and discs for this are extremely expensive, so I guess it's quite a collectible thing. And there was another one on the Wikipedia page, which is Label Flash. Of course, it mentions LightScribe, which we're looking at now, but Label Flash looks cool as well. I had a look online, and indeed you can get a Label Flash drive for pretty much nothing, like £7 or £8. I think mine was £8 or something like that. The discs are around, and they're about the same price, slightly cheaper actually than the LightScribe ones. So I've got a Label Flash drive and some discs coming as well. That's full color etching as well somehow, so it'd be fun to give that a go. Another cool thing I found was you can still buy modern LightScribe drives, USB external DVD writers. This one caught my eye on Amazon, only £24, so it does LightScribe and a whole bunch of other stuff as well, so I might have to invest in one of these too. And so at the end of a bit of etching, here we go, the complete set. They're not perfect, but they were fun making them, and yeah, don't hate me for using AI for the artwork. Some people seem to not like it at all for some reason, but yeah, look at that, a red one for ATI, a green one for NVIDIA, and then one for sound cards, and a Windows 98 disc as well, so I like them. And holding them up to the light is really awesome as well. They catch the light really, really nicely. And one issue with these, as far as I believe, you can't really leave them out in the sunlight. The sunlight will fade the ink on these things pretty fast, so you need to keep them in a dark place, get them out, admire them, install Windows 98, and then put it away in a dark box somewhere. as quickly as possible so they don't fade in the future. But yeah, they are pretty things. I like them a lot. I'm glad I did this little experiment. I've got a few more discs coming. I kind of wish, I mean, this one's nicely spaced out. I wish I'd taken a bit more time to get the rest of them nicely spaced out. Though at the end of the day, they're just discs that are going to be used, and as long as you can recognize what they are, all cool. It's not like you can keep them out on the desk because the light would probably fade it away in about 2 weeks anyway. I don't know, there was, when I read a review online, there was this question about nobody knew what the longevity would be, but it does seem, just from what some people have been saying on X and things, that they do fade, so it's best to keep them in the dock if you can. But yeah, I'm glad I did this little experiment. I really like these discs. I think I'll do a few more for my various disc collections, maybe a 3DFX one, and maybe use the other technologies when the other drive and discs arrive to do those. But I'm glad I tried it, and I think I'll probably use it in the future. So there you go, LightScribe. Not my usual kind of video, but I've been curious about it and thought I might as well film it while I was messing around with it, because it took up most of my retro time this week, and there wouldn't have been a video if I hadn't filmed it. So there you go. It's an interesting little thing. I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I got a few more discs coming. I've got a couple of 5-packs, so in the future, if I want to come back and burn a nice disc of some description, I can. But there you go, something cool to try if you've got a LightScribe drive. So that's it for this video. A bit different, as I said. I hope you enjoyed watching it nevertheless, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. We'll look at hardware again, probably. See you later. Goodbye.